Greetings, friends. Jacques Howard is my name. Welcome to Trenton 365 presents Jacques R.E.A.C.H. R.E.A.C.H is an acronym that stands for Recreation, Environment, Art, Civics, and Health. Under each one of those subjects, we have interviews, we have lines of business, etc. Jacques R.E.A.C.H is a mix of eclectic presenters and content providers who are giving things from a different perspective, their own perspective. It's going to be a lot happening in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Big shout out to WIMG 1300, New Jersey's oldest radio station and the first to have the Trenton 365 programming, and of course the television stations of WPHY and WZBN, broadcasting from Mercer and Bucks County, south along the Delaware River into Wilmington, Delaware. So if you're within those areas and you're looking to sit down and have a conversation or do some promotion about the work that you're doing, make sure that you get in touch. 609-433-0489. I'll give that number at the end as well. I'm going to be introducing a new friend who was brought to me through Westminster Presbyterian Church and a senior pastor, Reverend Karen Hernandez Granson. Now, Luis del Orbe, we've had a couple of conversations, and he's a very passionate man about the work that he does, and we're going to allow him to share from his own perspective the work that he does, why it's important, and most importantly, how you all can get involved. And if there's an issue that's happening in your life, in your community, in your surroundings, in your household, this is an opportunity for you to get some tools, for you to get some strategies, and most importantly, a network of professionals who can assist you with all things surrounding compulsive gambling. I'm going to be bringing on Luis del Orbe, the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey. He's got a lot of information to share. Please get a writing utensil and a piece of paper. If you cannot do that, make sure that you follow up with him later. He would love to have a conversation with you. He is skilled at doing presentations, not only video, but he can also do this in person as well. Luis, thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to diving right into a very serious topic and subject about what's happening in this region. I'd like for you to introduce yourself in your own way, and then I'd like for you to share about the very important work that you're doing.
Well, listen, thank you for being here. Well, we do appreciate the opportunity that you're giving us to spread the message out about problem gambling. My name is Luis del Orbe. I am the Executive Director for the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey. We are a statewide agency. Although we are right now, we're headquarters in Hamilton, New Jersey, we do cover the entire state. We have a small but yet passionate staff about this issue. You know, we're not for nor we're against gambling. Gambling is a legal venture in the state of New Jersey. However, what we are here for is to let people know that should you engage in gambling, you have to know that this is a risky activity. In New Jersey, our population here, we are three times the rate of a national rate of problem gambling. So we want to make sure that if those individuals, whoever fall into, if you or someone fall into a problem gambling area, we're here to help. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We do have our number, 1-800-GAMBLER, that you can call and listen. Whether it's regular times, after hours, whatever it is, you call there, you will talk to someone that can guide you to where you can find some help.
Great. Luis, I appreciate you talked about this in your opening statement that your organization that you are the executive director of, the Council on Compulsive Gambling in New Jersey, you and your organization is not against the legal practices of the industry of gambling. That's not what this is about. This is about the impact that it has on some individuals who may have an issue where this becomes an addiction of some sorts. And then that puts them into a position now where they're maybe spending money they don't have, developing habits that are bad for them, or they're putting themselves and maybe even their family members at some sort of risk. Can you talk about some of the compulsive gambling things that are floating around in society that a lot of people don't think they're actually gambling and it's compulsive.
Yes, that's correct. You know, we're not against legalized gambling. It is a legal venture in New Jersey, but we understand that there's going to be certain individuals that are going to develop a problem when it comes to gambling. Okay, and we don't look at gambling as an individual situation or legal or individual problem. This is a society problem. It's a family problem. Okay, this is very much is a public health issue. It is estimated that every gambler, and in the state of New Jersey, we're talking about nearly 6% of the population. That's over 500,000 people that are suffering with this addiction. And if each individual in their life affects 11 other people, then we're talking about a lot of people being affected by gambling. Okay, this is a disease that destroys families, destroy careers. And one of the things about problem gambling and disorder gambling is the suicide rate.
Hmm.
Okay, this addiction has the highest suicide rate of any other addiction. I mean, think about this, Mr. Howard. Think about when a person is not only have they lost their family, they lost whatever income they have, the income source. They might have lost their job. They might have lost their home because of gambling. Usually, the first thing that comes to mind is you know trying to end it all. Okay, and we have a number of individuals. We talk about 20%. One in four will contemplate suicide once they reach that bottom. Okay, I could tell you stories of individuals who have lost so much money and have taken their life. And it's not just to adults. One of the problems that we're having now with the environment that we're creating when it comes to gambling are the youth. The youth is being affected tremendously. Now nowadays you're going to hear the words gambling and gaming being used interchangeably. Okay, because a lot of the video games, a lot of the gaming that's been going on, a lot of the video gamings, electronic, the e-games that are going now are connected to gambling. And for the most part, a lot of them are akin to gambling. There's a lot of video gaming situation that happen in the United States that does not happen in the other parts of the world. For instance, video games with loot boxes. Loot boxes have been banned by other countries because buying loot boxes is akin to gambling. We talk to individuals. We go to presentations. We do presentation at churches, civic center, schools. We're very big in schools when it comes to prevention. We go to we go to community-based organizations and we speak to the people there. We go to rehab centers. We speak to the clinicians. We speak to the clients who are there. Okay, we let them know that this is a risky activity. And like you said, the different types of gambling. I spoke to this a few years ago. I spoke to a granddaughter who called our helpline and she was concerned about her grandmother. Okay, her grandmother had developed an addiction to bingo. Her and a group of her friends had a circuit where they went to all these different centers and churches that did bingo 6 days a week. It became an addiction for them. Okay, lottery, playing the lottery, scratch off. One of the things, we do team up with the New Jersey Lottery and on a campaign that we ask people not to give children scratch offs.
Okay.
Listen, we know that addiction does not discriminate. And I'm not just talking about gambling addiction. I'm talking about all sorts of addiction. It does not discriminate. It doesn't matter who you are. But we know that some character traits are more susceptible to addiction. There are root causes to addiction. Okay. So one of the things that we're doing here when it comes to prevention is trying to address those causes to addiction, or those root causes. We just don't know. We don't know how one person is going to process excitement or that stimulus that comes with being involved in these games. And listen, as you know, as you see, this game is video games and gambling comes across as a risk-free activity. It's fun. There's a lot of music, and for the young man, what do? They use very loosely clad dressed women. They want to draw that crowd in. Listen, it's exciting, and there's nothing wrong with engaging in that activity. Okay, 90% of people do so thinking as it's a form of entertainment, but there is going to be that small percentage that are going to fall into addiction. So we have to be careful about the mental nutrition that we give youth right now. Okay, because we know that a human child can develop a belief system by the age of 7, a belief system that they're going to take into adulthood. And that belief system is going to guide them and help them manage how to deal with certain things that are going to face in life. So if we do not give them the proper mental nutrition, we can be setting our children up for a life of addiction.
Wow. I'm speaking with Luis Del Orbe, who is the executive director of the Council on Compulsive Gambling, New Jersey. They have a very, very simple contact number, 800 and the word gambler, 800 GAMBLER. Luis has that on his shirt, so please pay attention to that number. Luis, I'd like for you to talk about how this impacts all ethnicities, all socioeconomic backgrounds. Like you said, it's non-discriminate. Anyone can get themselves caught up into a space where they may become addicted, or they may become stressed because of the funds and stuff lost. Can you talk about just that perspective of it, that this is something that impacts everyone? It's not one particular group or another particular group is immune to this.
Oh, most definitely, it is not. And the effects can be devastating. Okay. And the whole thing is sometimes we do things just out of fun, or we just don't know.
Mm,
You know, uh, I'm Dominican. I was born in the Dominican Republic. And let's say roosters, cockfighting,
mm,
that was common to us. It's part of the culture for us. Okay. Here, it, uh, I was going around doing presentation in South Jersey, right? And I met this gentleman who told me about that he may have a problem because all the money that he saves, he wants to go to deal with the cockfights. And I said, cockfights? Really? Listen, I was in an area that was not what I was thinking of. Okay. I said, would you mind if I go with you? They actually let me enter the place with him. They had a ring, they had bleachers, they had a status board, just like a regular sport, but it was a cockfighting ring. And this was on a Wednesday night. It was packed.
mm.
Okay. This individual, after I spoke with him, I see his behavior. I says, yeah, he's definitely looked in, he's hooked. The environment that we're creating right now, we have normalized gambling. Okay. A lot of the individuals that are in treatment now that I have personally spoke to, this path to where they ended up now started with going to their father or grandfather to the racetracks. Okay. Individuals, see, a lot of people don't think fantasy football is anything. It's just an activity that you do with your son, right? Or with your kids. But a lot of people, a lot of these youngsters are, their mindset is that this is a form of income. I can make some money, especially now, with the economy the way it is. Everybody's looking for extra source of income. And many individuals are gambling, going online, because right now you don't have to go to Atlantic City anymore. Okay, this is the casino. You can gamble in this. That is a source, a venue, a way to get to that addiction. Okay, you have individuals with two, three phones because they have apps, gambling apps in every single one of them. Okay, it doesn't discriminate. But it takes that one particular event that will, mm, ignite that spark, and next thing you know, you're in it deep. Okay, so people got to understand that gambling, okay, it can take a while because you can carry it into adulthood, just the environment that you have in the house. I know family that gets together on Sunday nights to play games, and they have penny poker
Mm.
with kids. All we're doing is poker. It's just a penny. I said, look at your children's reaction when it comes to this. How excited they get, how mad they get when they lose, how happy they get when they win. All of a sudden, as a youth, as a young man who's 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, your body's is flooded with all this adrenaline. It feels good to win. And you know how the brain works. The brain feels good. It wants you to do it again and again. And this is what's happening with a lot of the teenagers. Okay, they're getting caught up in this excitement of the game, and they're looking at it right now. I talk to young people; they just can't sit by and watch a game unless they have some sort of something in the game. They need to have skin in the game in order to enjoy the game. Okay, and we always say, listen, if the game is no longer fun for you, then start looking for a reason why it's no longer fun. You know, when gambling, if it's no longer fun, then stop. Because if it's no longer fun, there's something going on inside of you, and your brain is acting a certain way that may not be conducive to, your best interest. So you have to, be mindful of that.
Louis, I'd like for you to talk about even genders, because I know when you hear the idea and the concept of who goes to the racetrack, who goes to the poker room, who's going to the pool hall, all those things. I know even me, like you were talking about some things. I remember as a kid, like going to the racetrack, with relatives and watching the horses and being so enamored and saying, "Oh, it's $2 and I can make a bet on this," and then, "Oh, I won $18." Like I remember those types of things, but that just wasn't something that I found a lot of interest in. It wasn't something that really captivated me. But from what you're saying and from the little bit that I've read, I just don't have that gene maybe to go in that direction, or I haven't fostered that gene to go in that direction where it's something that is as important to me. That's not saying that there isn't something else that may be just as, addictive or could potentially cause a problem, but that's just not something for me. I do want you to talk about again about how this is indiscriminate. You mentioned a grandmother who was going to bingo on a regular basis and how that has caused some issues. I know we're very specific as a society about talking about gender norms and what's not norm and all the different types of genders, but can you just talk about how this is impacting all types of human beings?
Yes, sir, it is. You know, most people and most gamblers are men. Okay, but overall, 47% of gamblers are women. Okay, see, men are more attracted to action gambling. Okay, women, for the most part, they gamble to escape whatever situation. I had to do a presentation over in a part of New Jersey where there was an association, there was a support group for moms with special needs children. Okay. The lady, she was a presentation when I was talking to her about certain video games that women can get into, Candy Crush. A lot of people became addicted to Candy Crush for a very long time before they realized it. These games are addictive. It just so happened that about 80, the group that I went to, and there was 32 moms there. The group that I went to, about 85%, they admitted that they were addicted to some sort of game or online gambling in the phone. And they saw themselves, once they put the child to sleep, once the child was off somewhere, they just wanted to detach. They just wanted to relax. And they found gambling online on the phone to be relaxing for them. Okay. So these are moms with special needs children. As you know, families with special needs children, they're under a lot of stress. The child do need extra attention in certain things, especially the child is nonverbal. And a lot of these moms were in a very stressful situation, and they found that as a form of escape for them. So yes, this addiction, no addiction in general, they do not discriminate. However, there's certain things about us that may trigger us to act in a certain way. And then we make it the norm. We have to remember that practice behavior is hard to break. Okay. You said to yourself, you went to the racetrack with your family.
Mhm.
Like I said, 90% of individuals, 90% see gambling as a form of entertainment. They're having fun with it. That means you can go gamble, right? And win or lose, you're walking away. It's like going to the movies, right? And, going to the movies is expensive nowadays, right?
Mhm.
But let's say you go to the movies, you pay $20 for this movie. If you didn't like the movie, do you come back out and go to the box office and tell them, give me my money back? No, that was the cost for you to sit there and be entertained. Gambling is the same thing. So if you're going in there, one of the things that we ask people to do is if you're going to gamble, do so in a responsible manner. Okay. Make sure that you're not gambling with money that you need. Okay. Don't gamble with the rent money. Don't gamble with the bill money. Don't gamble with the food money. Your kids need to eat. Okay. You need to eat. Gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Okay. So set a limit, a money limit. This is what I'm going to get. $50, 20, whatever it is. I'm going to put $50 here and I'm going to gamble. Okay. If I lose that, I'm walking away. If I win, I have lunch money, right? That type of thing. So don't chase your losses. And if you're going to gamble, one of the things we ask is that gamble with family members, gamble with people that you know, gamble with people that knows your situation. Okay, gamble with people who do not or have not shown a problem when it comes to gambling, because these are the individuals that may have to pull you out of that situation. These are the individuals that once they see you focusing on this game and they're like, okay, listen, you have gone to the ATM 2, 3 times already. I think it's time. Let's take a break. That's another thing we ask. We ask individuals to take breaks often. You want to detach from playing game. You don't want to sit there because the brain is wired towards repetitive action. Okay, and like I said, practice behavior is hard to break. And if you get to practicing to chasing your losses, there are some people that'll gamble and they'll lose. And they're not going to tell you when they lost. They're going to tell you when they win. You know what I mean? They're going to tell you when they win. But they're going to tell, oh, listen, I won $20. Man, I got $50. But you lost $300 to win that $50. Okay? So gamble with people that you know that's going to pull you out if something happens. If I go with my friends and I know that my friend has a problem gambling, you know what he's going to do? He's going to validate my behavior because he's in the same boat that I'm in. Okay, he's going to say, "Oh man, listen." A friend will tell you, "Listen, no. Listen, go ahead, go get another $50 because we're going to get that $50 back." That bug is in him. I had a young lady. I knew the family of this young lady, 29 years old. Went to gambling to celebrate her 29th birthday. It was her and 4 friends. She went into the casino. I believe it was Friday evening. They got to the casino. She gambled from Friday evening until Sunday morning. She did not leave the casino one time. Although her friends were trying to pull her out, friends were trying to get her somewhere, right? She wanted to stay there. That weekend, between Friday to Sunday morning, she lost $283,000. Sadly to say, and unfortunately, she committed suicide. She didn't know how to go home and tell her husband that she lost $283,000. And this is one of many, many situations that we have individuals. We're not talking about people just losing a couple of $100, a couple of $1,000s. They lose their entire life, and many risk the entire life. I spoke to the husband when he finally got the courage to pack her things up. He found hundreds of scratch off cards that she had in her study in little Ziploc bags. See, that bug was already in her. She was just doing it through it could be escape. It could be a way for her to escape, just to do scratch offs. But many of the scratch offs that she had there weren't even scratch off. She went straight to the barcode.
Just to
So,
see if she won or not.
so I'm guessing that during those situations, during those circumstances, she might have been at the place buying the cards, scratching it off, and then going right into the scanner to see if she won. Okay, so the bug was reading her, celebrating her 29th birthday in that environment just kicked the addiction into it became a full-blown addiction at that moment. And this one, some of the things that we have to realize, it's not just men. Okay, it's not just young boys. Now, the younger you are, yes, the younger you are, it tends to be young men. It says that the average age of a young man exposed to gambling is usually around the 10 years old. That's how that's the average age. It was a study done by Rutgers. Rutgers done a lot of this research for the state of New Jersey when it comes to gambling. But yes, a lot of them are young boys. Young girls tend to not be. But as they get older, what happens when we become older? More responsibility, more stress. And a lot of the females, they do go to gambling just to escape out of whatever situation they may be in, or whatever stressful situation they may be suffering.
So Luis, we know how serious this is. I mean, you've provided some amazing examples. Your organization, your nonprofit organization, the Council on Compulsive Gambling in New Jersey, is available to assist families, individuals, groups of all different sizes with presentations. I'm sure you have marketing and so forth that's available as well. Can we finish up with you talking about some steps that people can take and what they can expect if they contact your organization looking for help?
Yes, definitely. The number that you spoke, 1-800-GAMBLER. If you call this number, we are a source of information for the community. Okay. Not only do we offer information, we offer resources, referrals. We have a hub of trained clinicians. We train individuals who are already counselors or doing some kind of clinical work with substance abuse or other form of addiction. So we have a large, not large enough because the need is great, but we do have many clinicians who are specifically trained to deal with gamblers. You call this number, and if you believe that you need that sort of help, we're going to refer you to one of these individuals that can help you. We're going to give you information. We're going to send you to support groups. Gamblers Anonymous. Okay, we're not part of Gamblers Anonymous. Gamblers Anonymous is a totally separate organization, but we do refer individual to Gamblers Anonymous meetings. We let them know where to find meetings, or we give them a meeting if we know one that's in their area, so they can go to attend. These support groups, they run a 12-step support group. These support groups, we have seen that their fellowship works. Okay, so therefore we refer to them. Anything that we know that works, we're going to refer people, because we want to make sure that you're comfortable with the people that you're trying to create a recovery with. Okay, there are many forms. There are many different programs. There is nothing gambling specific in New Jersey, unfortunately, right now. Okay, but many gamblers, listen, 96% of gamblers are dealing with a co-occurring situation.
Mhm.
Okay, and if gambling has a close related cousin, that addiction will be alcohol. But a lot of individuals who are in recovery for substance use, sometimes they substitute something else. And for many, it's gambling. That they go in there, although they're in recovery for any other addiction, substance use, stuff like that. Sometimes recovery, sometimes gambling is a form of escape for them. So we have to be careful of how we get into this. But if you call our number, 800 Gambler, we're here to provide support, treatment, and hope. Okay. We do not give support directly, but we will refer you to individuals who are trained professionals to give you the treatment and provide you, be able to help create the recovery support treatment that you may need. Okay. So give us a call. If you or someone has a gambling problem, give us a call. If you have someone in your family who may be gambling because the signs that you see, one of the things sometimes we have to do is realize, identify that somebody may have a problem. Okay, you may see a loved one who has detached themselves from family events, a family member who does not give accountability of his or her time. Okay, because they may be gambling, they're hiding. The person may be borrowing too much money. Okay, they're burning bridges by going to individuals and borrowing money. Grandkids. Who are the grandkids usually go to when they get into trouble? Grandma and grandpa. So grandma and grandpa are very vulnerable when it comes to individuals who may have a problem with gambling. But listen, the elderly, that's a vulnerable population. These are individuals who the kids may be out of the house now. They may be dealing with some loneliness. They have disposable income. It's a form of them to socialize with other individuals of their age, of their own age. There are companies or organizations that make trips to, here in New Jersey, to Atlantic City. They'll get a busload. Why would I not give you $20 if you're going to give me $30 worth of gambling chips and $5 for me to have lunch? It's a form of me to socialize, so why not? But the elderly is a very vulnerable population. Homeless individuals. You see a lot of homeless individuals out there. A lot of them, yeah, they're in a certain situation and they panhandling, trying to get money, stuff like that. A lot of them are not doing it just to drink or to do drugs. A few of them, many of them that I know, as soon as they get some money, they're going to go into that store and try to get themselves a scratch off. You see them out there doing the scratch offs. So we have so many vulnerable populations that we have to look out for. So yes, we are here, source. Give us a call, even if you just have questions. Our helpline calls have gone up when it comes to adult over 277% since 2018, when New Jersey online gambling became legal. Okay, but when it comes to parents calling our number, looking for information because they see that there are issues with their kids, that has gone up tremendously. Okay. So yes, 1-800-GAMBLER, give us a call. We're here we're here a resource for the community. Okay. This is very much a public health issue that we would like to address. We would like to give people information. This way they make informed decisions when it comes to gambling.
Luis Del Orbe, Executive Director, Council on Compulsive Gambling in New Jersey. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I look forward to having you come back on a regular basis. Anytime that you'd like to update the information, to share resources, and to just offer up support to folks who are in the midst of the strength of the gambling addiction. Thank you so much for your time.
Mr. Howard, thank you very much. And I want to, remind you and people that we do have a symposium over the Westminster Presbyterian Church on March 13th. From 9 to 2. We're going to be there from 8:30 to about 2:30, but it's over the Westminster Presbyterian Church in the city of Trenton. So we're going to be there March 13th. Come on by and get some information.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And again, Westminster Presbyterian Church, 1140 Greenwood Avenue, Senior Pastor Reverend Karen Hernandez Granzin. This symposium is going to be taking place in partnership with 1-800-GAMBLER and Luis Del Orbe and his organization, the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey. In closing, folks, remember, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.